We have 6 players remaining. Action going to the man who used to use that cheat sheet, Tony Behari.
Well, said he wants to be the first player to ever take down a WPT title from the Fiji Islands. He could do that tonight if he could win here.
Well, he's got a wired pair of 7s, and he's going to raise with it. Makes it 36,000 to go. The smiling bandit, Kathy Liebert, out, as well as Chia Vu. And now the pro out of Chicago, Chris Moore, has picked up ace-queen. And last year he won the win event, picked up close to 700,000. I mean, this kid's a player.
Is going to re-raise it here to 105,000 with an ace-queen.
Thao Lee from San Jose, California, quickly folding his hand. And now Brecher, the chip leader, looks down at a Jack-10. Won't play that. So back on Tony Behari.
Yeah, tough to play these mid pairs. When you raise it and the guy comes over the top of you, what do you do now? That's the question.
Tony got to this event through a $1,000 satellite, and he's going to make the call.
Flop comes 8-8-3, so Tony out in front with 8s and 7s. He checks.
Chris Moore, will he make the continuation bet like most pros would? Showing aggression with just ace high. Yes, he does. Putting in 125,000.
Tony's going to make the call with the 2 7s.
Tony was the general manager of a car dealership in Oakland. Now playing poker, and look at this horrible card there for Tony. Queen hits the board.
Great card for Chris, though. And both players check as the queen comes up. Now 5 of clubs at the river. Action back on Tony. Now, Vince, the way this hand was played, he might think his 2 7s are the best hand here. His opponent made a continuation bet on the flop, but checked on the turn. Tony's going to check on the river, however. And Vince, you can just look at this guy and tell he's not slow playing something.
300,000.
And Chris picked up on it as he bets 300,000 here.
Gotta admit, Tony is easier to read than a stop sign. Just look at that face.
Vince, the way this hand was played, you could see him calling here. If he puts his opponent on ace-king or ace-jack, he might call with the 2 7s.
Go to the cheat sheet, my man.
I was afraid with that flop, man. You might have bigger overs than what I have. Bigger pocket pair. I'm gonna re-raise with ace queen.
Ooh. And he said he wouldn't re-raise with an ace-queen. Right there he's marching with 2 left feet.
All right, Chris. It's yours.
Oh boy, this is a good laydown by Tony.
Well, it is. Whatever he put him on, it beat his 2 7s, so he does make a nice laydown.
Strong pocket pair, Chris.
Pocket pair.
How big?
I think I had you.
I had a bigger pocket pair. I don't know how big your hand was for the re-raise.
Pretty big.
This is you. This is you playing poker on WPT Global. Come play at WPT Global. Click the link in the YouTube description below. Sign up with bonus code YT10 and receive your welcome package with a deposit match and free tournament tickets.
Both guys being very honest, quite confusing if you ask me.
Well, action's going to be on Chia Vu, former champion of this event back in 2000. Looks down at an ace-8 offsuit. Now he is on the short stack here. Is this the hand he wants to go with?
Born in Vietnam, came to the U.S. about 20 years ago.
I'm on.
And he says all in with his ace-8. It's about 202,000. Chris Moore going out. Thao Lee looks at a queen-jack. Nope, won't play that. And now chip leader Steve Brecher with an ace-3 of diamonds and the button. He's known as a pretty tight player. He elects to fold.
How much is it?
Now Tony's picked up a pair of 8s here.
Oh boy.
He just got burned with the mid pair of the last hand.
I came into 10 not wanting to get in so many pots, and these mid pairs screwed me up so far, huh?
No, Vince, he should not be saying that. Kathy Liebert's still in this pot in the big blind. He's essentially told her what he's got.
Yeah, that is a mistake, my man. Cheat sheet backfiring in many ways.
All right, I call.
Well, he's going to make the call with the 2-8s. Kathy goes out.
Yeah, Kathy doesn't have much, so here we go.
Well, Tony's got to love this as his opponent turns up an ace-8. Chia Vu going to have to get lucky to stay alive in this tournament. The two snowmen well out front here. Well, flop comes king, jack 10. And that does give Chow a straight draw. A queen would win it for him, as well as an ace.
Chia Vu would love to stab at this 9 of diamonds on the turn.
Well, this means a 7 would give them a split pot. So Chow needs a 7 to split the pot, an ace or a queen to win the pot. Anything else, and he'll be our 6th place finisher.
The local pro Chia Vu in a lot of trouble. Can he get out of it? No, he does not.
3 of clubs on the river, so that's going to do it for the former champion of this tournament. Chia Vu, our 6th place finisher.
Chia Vu is through. He picks up $135,000 for his efforts. We are down to 5 players. Stay with us. We're coming back with more exciting action as one of these players is going to take home $1 million here on the World Poker Tour.
$5 million in career earnings. Very impressive.
She's going after her first WPT title. Best she finished is 3rd. Will tonight be different? Let's go to the table. Thao going away.
Now over to our chip leader, Steve Brecher.
Won't play his queen 6.
Tony Behari. He's on the button with king high, lays it down. Kathy going to limp in with the jack 10 of clubs out of the small blind.
And Chris Moore behind her with an ace 3. Not going to raise.
So we're going to have a flop here. It's come queen 9-9 with 2 clubs. Kathy Liebert has flopped an open in straight flush draw and checks.
Beautiful possibilities for Kathy here. But Chris not biting here, also checking. Here comes the turn card.
Well, an ace comes off. I bet she's not going to put him on an ace because he didn't raise before the flop, so she's just going to lead out and try to pick up this pot.
And she's going to bet a mile 15,000.
About half the size of the pot. And Chris with his 2 aces is going to make the call.
Yeah, Chris with a lot of respect for Kathy Liebert. And the river card hits Kathy Liebert.
She's
Wow.
made the straight. The 8 gives her the queen high straight. Action is on her. Now she bets 40,000. Chris has got aces up with the queen kicker.
Check 10. Check 10.
Look at this. He's calling the hand and he pays it off.
Well, that happens a lot in poker, Vince, as you know. You just feel like you're beat. You call your opponent's hand. You want to see it, so you pay him off.
Yeah, you hate to be right in those situations, but he is. And look at this crowd going crazy over their lady, Kathy Liebert, who has made 6 WPT final tables. Very popular player.
Just call your hand. I still call.
Well, Amanda Leatherman has got one of those audience members, WPT player Dan Highmiller.
All right, Dan, who you here rooting for today?
Kathy Liebert.
Yeah? I know that you've been here before. Did you guys talk any strategy before this tournament began?
It's hard to give her advice because she's got a better record than I do.
Right.
So I really hate to give really good poker players advice. But if it comes down to skill, Kathy should win.
Now, you probably remember Dan Highmiller as Hoss on Bonanza back in the day.
I think he hit the nail on the head here. Kathy is the most experienced player at the table, and look at this. She just made a straight and now comes right back the next hand and picks up the bullets. She's got 2 aces, King Kong.
Oh. Barack Obama of poker hands. What a hand, and she's going to make it 36,000 to go. Chris going out. But Thao Lee in trouble here. He's got the ladies, pair of queens.
Oh boy, is he ever in trouble, Vince. This a powerful hand and no limit hold'em. Only 2 hands can beat it. Unfortunately for Thao, Kathy's got one of them. But he just calls. Vince does not raise with the 2 queens.
Maybe he'll save some money. Steve Brecher going away.
Thao acting like he's grimacing here. He just didn't want to see an ace or a king on the flop. Oh, the flop has come deuce, deuce, 5. This is a flop that is going to get Thao in serious trouble, Vince.
Well, he's checking, probably to check raise. Kathy betting with the aces, 40,000.
I just can't see anybody getting away from 2 queens in this situation. I'm very surprised if he doesn't raise here, but he doesn't. He just makes the
No.
call here.
He's getting cheap so far.
Unbelievable.
It is.
He hasn't raised before the flop or on the flop, but a 6 comes off.
Action once again on Thao, but this time it looks like he's getting chips ready.
He's playing this hand very uniquely, Vince. He didn't raise before the flop. He didn't raise on the flop when it come 5 deuce deuce. Now he's leading out and betting the 2 queens. 80,000.
Thao is 28 years old. He's an amateur player, but plays here at the Bay 101 all the time. He's a local with an opportunity of a lifetime. What's Kathy going to do?
Now, she's not going to put him on a 3-4, Vince. Just never going to believe he's going to call a raise before the flop with a 3 or 4 to make a straight here. So she's going to come right over the top of him. 230,000 to bet.
Going to try to punish Thao.
She's going to hope that he's got just what he's got. Some kind of overpair here where he can't get away from this hand.
Who could lay this down?
This would be an incredible laydown if he could make it.
All in.
Ooh,
Well, he's gone all in.
I call.
Kathy quickly calls.
yep, the smiling bandit has called.
Oh, well, Thao Lee in dire straits right here. He got in this tournament on a $100 satellite, and to stick around and continue playing for that $1 million first place prize, he's got to hit lightning in the jug on the river. Must catch a queen, a lucky lady against the lady.
Yep.
Can he do it?
Amateur player. His poker life on the line right now. Can Thao get lucky? Here's the river card. No, it's a 7 of hearts. And that's going to wrap it up.
Well, Vince, you can't blame a guy for getting broke with 2 queens when a flop comes like that. But Thao Lee out tonight in 5th place.
$180,000 richer. And he's got to say goodnight.
If I didn't have jacks, I would have done the same thing.
For the smiling bandit, Kathy Liebert knocks out a player. We are down to 4 here on the World Poker Tour. Blinds have gone up to 8 and 16,000. Chris Moore, the pro out of Chicago, has ace-king. He's going to raise it to 45,000 to go.
Well, we still have 1 bounty remaining in this tournament. That's Kathy Liebert. So whoever knocks her out will get an extra 5,000. Or she'll collect it herself if she wins the tournament.
Steve Brecher, quick fold, but now Tony Behari with a queen jack is going to call it.
Kids today. Yeah, just raise.
Chatty, Kathy Liebert, not going to call. So we have 2-way action.
And here comes the flop. Let's come ace, queen, 7. 2 diamonds. Tony has flopped 2nd pair, and Tony checks the flop. But Chris has top pair with top kicker.
Yeah, they both hit a hand, and Chris is going to bet with his aces, 55,000.
Tony's going to make the call here in hopes that his opponent doesn't have an ace in his hand.
Okay, he does though, and the turn card is...
That's a 4 diamonds. So 3 diamonds on the board now. Tony's going to check.
And the young pro, 25 years old, out of Chicago, once again going to bet 125,000 this time.
Now, Vince, notice what happened there. Tony picked up his cards. It's like he's looking to see if one of his cards was a diamond, when in fact it is. He's got the jack of diamonds. So he does have a flush draw.
And we're going down to the river.
Well, 9 of hearts comes off. Action on Tony.
That card helps neither player.
Look at this. Tony is now going to lead out and bet 200,000. Well, Chris shaking his head. He's saying, could that card have possibly beat me? What's going on here?
I think you have ace 9, maybe.
It looks like something like that, but we know better. Now, this young player last year won the Win Classic. He won close to 700,000, so he's got game. And look at this, he's made a nice call here.
Ace 9. Oh, I thought you said you had ace 9.
Nice, you got it.
Well, in my view, there's no purpose of Tony betting there. And I say that because the only way he's going to get called is if he's beat.
Don't expect you to have such a very kicker too, man.
Tony is an amateur player. A local, plays here a lot. at the Bay 101. Got in this tournament by winning a $1,000 satellite. What a parlay he's going to make wherever he finishes.
All right. Action right back on Tony. He's got a little suited connector, 5-4 clubs. He's just calling. And the smiling bandit, Kathy Liebert, also calling.
And Chris, who just very happily won that last pot, looks down at ace-7. He's going to call out of the small blind.
Where is the muck?
Everybody is limped in here. Steve Brecher in the big blind looks down at the ace-4. He says, okay, so we've got a family pot. All 4 players are involved. The crowd loves this.
And here's the flop. Well, look at this. Kathy Liebert has hit 3 9s on the flop. 9-9 queen.
So Chris checks. Steve checks as well. Tony also checks. And with the possible straight and possible flush draw out there, Kathy looking to bet the 3 9s, and she does so. Bets 30,000.
Chris out. Brecher out.
Stay in there with you, Kathy.
But Tony Behari
And he says, I'm going to gamble with you.
wanted to spike a club, and he gets it.
8 of clubs comes off.
And he checks it.
And that should be a scare card for Kathy in my view, because it makes the straight and the flush both out there, but doesn't slow her down. She bet 75,000. Well, the amateur player is going to raise it to 225,000. And Vince, Kathy's caution light should be coming on right now. But even if you know if your opponent's got a flush or a straight here, you're still going to try to make the full house. Kathy's going to make the call here.
Nice pot developing river card. Can Kathy get lucky? No, not to be. A 6 of diamonds. And Tony going to try to push in more chips. 300,000.
Now, Vince, in my mind, she should put him on a straight or a flush here. I know she's got 3 9s, but I think it's an easy hand to get away from. But she makes the call here. Kathy just not analyzing what these opponents have, and she bets and they raise. Sometimes you got to throw 3 of a kind away.
That is right, but curiosity killed the Kathy. Tony taking down that pot. Stay with us. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour. Antes are going up to 3,000. Lines 10 and 20,000 here at the Bay 101 Shooting Star.
And for the first time tonight, the amateur, the local who got in this tournament on a $1,000 satellite, Tony Behari, our chip leader, with $2.7 million in chips.
To the felt we go. Steve Brecher, a poker pro out of Reno, Nevada, picks up a king jack. Former chip leader.
Steve, a retired computer software developer, graduated from Stanford.
Yep. Studied philosophy.
I'm going to make it 65,000 to go here with Kojak.
Tony, the local, going out, and now Kathy Liebert with the notorious ace-queen.
Well, that's a pretty big hand in a 4-handed poker game.
She's on the short stack at this point.
There she is, Vince. And as you notice, when she loses a few pots, Chatty Kathy is gone. It's now Somber Kathy.
Yep. Used to be the Smiling Bandit. I'm going to have to re-nickname her.
Yeah, you better get rid of that one.
Turning into Lizzie Borden before our very eyes.
All in.
And she's going all in.
Well, she's not going to fool around. Make some marginal raise that gets called where she might get outplayed or outflopped. Just going to put it all out there so that if you can beat this hand, good luck to you.
Chicago Chris going out, and Steve Brecher not going to play. So forceful play by Chatty Kathy. And the smile's back, at least momentarily. She's got so many fans here tonight. They're all waiting for her first win on the World Poker Tour. Can it be this evening?
Well, poker's the kind of game where one hand you're smiling, the next hand you're frowning.
A successful woman player in poker tournaments. She's made 6 final tables here on the World Poker Tour.
Well, she is still on the short stack here, though. Oh, well, Vince, look at this. She's picked up 2 aces again.
Oh, wow. There is hope. And she's going to raise it to 70,000 to go. Now Chris behind her with a pair of 10s wired.
Well, this could spell big trouble for Chris. The crowd anticipating he's going to play this pot.
Look at Kathy just desperate for action here.
Raise.
Craving that raise, and she gets it.
That is music to her ears. Steve Brecher with the 8-7. He's going to get out of their way and let them fight it out here.
Chris has made it 250.
All in.
And there you go, Kathy.
Good call.
Kathy's gone all in, and she's been called. Wow, well, the last time Kathy had 2 aces, Thao had 2 queens. She busted him out in 5th place. Can she take down yet another gigantic pot with the 2 aces?
Well, Chicago Chris spoiled Kathy Liebert's dream.
Vince, this pot will get her right back in the thick of things if the 2 aces stand up here.
Here we go with the first 3.
Yeah, the flop comes Jack 9-3. So far, so good for Kathy. Chris is going to have to catch a 10 or 2 running cards to make a straight to win this pot. Everybody on their feet. Comes a turn card. Well, a Jack comes off. So for Chris Moore to win this pot, he's got to catch a 10. Rin 10-10 is what's going to take for him.
Yep, needs a 2-outer to absolutely devastate Kathy, but not to be a queen of hearts on the river. Kathy Liebert is going to double up.
Well, for the second time at this final table, Kathy Liebert has picked up a pair of aces. Her opponent's picked up a big pair, and she's won a giant pot.
Kathy Liebert, with her quest for a WPT title, the crowd chanting her name.
She is back.
This is you. This is you playing poker on WPT Global. Come play at WPT Global. Click the link in the YouTube description below. Sign up with bonus code YT10 and receive your welcome package with a deposit match and free tournament tickets.
We are down to 4 players. One player going to take home over $1 million here tonight.
We have a local amateur, Tony Behari, still out in front with $2.6 million, but Kathy Liebert now in 2nd place. 3 pros and 1 amateur fighting it out for that coveted $1 million first place prize and that entry into the WPT season-ending World Championship event.
Down to the felt we go. Kathy Liebert quickly folding her hand.
She's down to Jack 3. Chris Moore out as well, so now we're down to the battle of the blinds. Steve Brecher has picked up a big hand in the small blind, an ace-queen. Well, Steve used to live right here in the Bay Area.
63 years old, poker professional out of Reno, Nevada. Very solid player. The 2nd time he's made the World Poker Tour final table. And he's going to raise.
He makes it $65,000 to go.
Into the local, our chip leader, Tony Behari.
And he's going to raise it with an ace-10 of spade. He's come over the top of Steve with the ace-10 of spade.
Raise.
What a beautiful re-raise by Steve Brecher here. I say beautiful because he's got his opponent dominated here. It's ace-queen versus ace-10. And Tony Behari, our chip leader, better be very careful in how he dances this dance.
Well, Brecher makes it $550 to go.
Can you pull that in?
Into the amateur local, Tony Behari, but who's been playing excellent here tonight.
Well, it's another $375,000 to make this call. Now, there is just over $700,000 in this pot, but all of a sudden, when you get re-raised here, your ace-10 starts to shrink up a little.
Tony used to be in the car business, got in this tournament through a $1,000 satellite. Doesn't really know the game too well, he says. And this is a dream come true for him as he goes after $1 million here tonight.
Well, that dream could be shattered if he's not careful here, Vince. And he does make the good lay down. But what a nice re-raise by Steve Brecher there.
Tough player. This is the 2nd time we've seen him play at a final table on the World Poker Tour.
Yeah, the last time, Vince, he was out in 2 hands at the WPT Championship in Season 2. That's right, in 2 hands to the rail.
Rub it in there, Mike.
He flew his mom in that morning. She didn't even get seated in the crowd, Vince, and he was out already. Unbelievable.
All right, Brecher goes out. Now Tony with a king-jack and a raise.
He bet $60,000.
And Kathy has picked up a pair of 5s. She's going to make this call.
Chris Moore goes out in the big blind.
Yeah.
Here comes the flop. 995. Bingo, bango, bungo for Kathy here. She has flopped a full house. Trying to remain very stoic. She checks, and Tony checks right behind her, much to her dismay. Now a 4 comes off. Well, she's going to check it again. Going to try to throw him a little rope here. And there he goes, Vince. He's grabbed it. Bet 75,000. She's just praying that he's got something here. He's been slow playing a big hand because she's got a full house and is looking to go to war.
Steady, Kathy, steady.
Now she is going to raise it, makes it 200,000.
I'm all in.
Oh, and Tony goes all in.
I call.
She is called. He is drawing stone dead.
He is pushed at the wrong time.
And folks, this pot's going to have over $4 million in it. Now Tony has Kathy covered, so he's not going to be broke out of this tournament. But terrible mistake by the amateur there, and it cost him dearly.
She sucked him in, and that's going to hurt.
Oh, Vince, this is a big blunder.
I didn't believe you for some reason there.
You don't have to jeopardize $2 million in chips when you can gain the same information by raising $200,000 or $300,000.
What a bad play. I just didn't believe her, man. Drinks on me.
He didn't believe her. Get the shot glasses out. Kathy Liebert, the chip leader now. Happier than a cheapskate at a 99-cent store. Well done.
Send me the bill.
Perhaps destiny on the side of Kathy right now. Could tonight be the night she takes down her first WPT title?
Okay, and with that hand, we are out of time here at the Bay 101 Shooting Star.